good afternoon. Today is Saturday, January 11th, and we have one birthday because today is Jenna, Jenna, Hannah Edenfield. Today's Jenna's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jenna. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Well, I hope you have a great birthday, Jenna. I haven't been doing too much today. I woke up to find out that my neighbor next door, Jason, thankfully had shoveled the snow before Jim and I had got up this morning. Jim woke up about 9:30 and he comes out. He says, I think Jason shoveled our snow because he could tell from the way from my mailbox over would be Greg, and that still had snow on it. But the sidewalk from my house to Jason's house had had all been shoveled. So I looked on our Ring camera, and sure enough, at 8:30 in the morning, Jason had come over and shoveled our snow. I'm telling you, I have the best neighbors ever. In the summer, I can count on Greg to cut our grass when Sophia's not here. And in the winter, I can count on any one of my neighbors, whether it's Marv across the street or Steve across the street or Jason or Greg on either side of me, to come and cut our lawn. Or not cut our lawn, shovel our snow. So I was so appreciative because it didn't, thankfully, start really snowing hard till about 9 o'clock last night. And so Jim wasn't going to go out there at night. And so he got the snowblower all ready and everything. And he said, well, I'll do that in the morning. I said, no, call David. And he says, no, I think I can do it. And I thought, oh. So, but then this morning the phone rang and he was talking. I could hear him because Jim talks to him on speaker, and it was David. But David was at work. And then I thought, oh, shoot, David's at work, so that means he's going to go out there, that he-man of mine, and try to shovel the snow. But then that's when he came in and told me that, he says, I think Jason shoveled the snow. So that was waking up to a good thought that I didn't have to worry about that. Once again, I tell you, best neighbors ever. They're the best neighbors I've ever had, really. And we've lived in, one? Although, I consider my neighbors were my landlords that lived below us because we lived in an upper flat. But I lived in 1, 2, 3. This is the fourth residence that I've owned that I've had neighbors, and these are by far 100% the best neighbors ever. When we had lived in Clinton Township, the one neighbor on the one side, they never came out of their house. They had a pool. They had a really good-sized pool in their backyard. They never went in their pool. The only time you saw him is when he would come out and clean the pool. I very rarely saw his kids in the pool, and his kids were a little bit older than Jimmy, but not much. But they were still, like, when we moved in, Jimmy was 15. And I think the girls were 16, 17, and 19, because he had 3 daughters. You never saw them in the pool. You never saw them in the yard. You never saw them out of the house. Their air conditioning would run all year, all summer, spring and summer, and in the fall you just hear the furnace. And they never came out. And then on the other side was our neighbor Mary, who was, I thought, really old at the time, but she was my age. She was like in her 70s. But we took really good care of her. So I think it's just, turnaround comes, if you throw something out there nice, it comes back and hits you smack in the face, whether it's good or bad. And we did so much for her. My boys, I know they would go over and shovel her snow and cut her grass, and she'd always want to pay them. And I kept saying, no, Mary, no. You need to learn to do some things just to do them, just because it makes you feel good to doing it for people. And I know she used to sneak my boys' money, and they used to take it. They'd be silly. I know that they probably did. But, and I've told this before, the one time when I was planting our houses, when we were putting our pool up, she says, oh, I suppose you're going to put up one of those silly old privacy fences. And I said, well, I don't want the kids to bother you, Mary. And she says, I get such joy sitting on my back porch, because she had a screened-in back porch. She said, watching the little ones. Well, now I understand that, because we moved into a neighborhood with little kids, and it was the same reason. I was just like, I think it keeps you young. And so I said, well, I promise you, Mary, as long as you're living there, I'll never put up a privacy fence. And we never did. And she lived there as long as I did. I'm trying to think of, yeah, she was there even when she had passed away just before we moved. And her daughter and son moved into the house. But we never put up a privacy fence. And then I always planted annuals every year in the backyard. And then the one year, I love marigolds. They're my favorite flower to plant because they thrive so well. And I was planting them, and then the one year, I planted them 2 years in a row, and I kind of noticed that Mary was never sitting on her back porch, and I always wondered, why wasn't she sitting on her back porch? And then the following year, I had like a petunia craze, and I was loving petunias. So I was planting all the petunias, and she comes out, and she says, oh my gosh, you're planting something different than those marigolds. And she says, those are really pretty. And I said, yeah, I kind of got tired of them. And so she said, oh, well, can I tell you something? She says, but, and I said, yeah, what? And she says, I'm very grateful that you're not planting marigolds because I'll be able to sit on my back porch this year. And I said, now that you mention it, I didn't remember seeing you on your porch at all last year. And she said, yeah, I'm allergic to marigolds. And the scent would just, cause my sinuses to go crazy. I said, Mary, why didn't you say something to me? I wouldn't have planted them. She says, because it's your house and you need to plant what you want. I never planted a marigold on that side of the house as long as I lived there. I put it on the other side, like by our deck, which wouldn't affect her. But no, she was really nice. And we only had to go over there twice. Her husband had fallen out of bed, and Jim and I had gone over there to help her get him back in the bed because he was bedridden. But like I said, I tried to be a good neighbor, and I think that's why I have such good neighbors now, because I couldn't ask for better neighbors. They take really good care of Jim and I. So anyway, I know I kind of went on a little long rant on that. I started to clean out my desk because I was looking for something, and it turned into a whole fiasco. I cleaned out my whole desk. I still have to clean out the one drawer with my files. The bottom drawer is a file cabinet, to kind of clear out the 2024 stuff and make room for my 2025 stuff. And then I was going to start with the getting my taxes together. That was one of the main reasons I started cleaning out my desk. But I just shoved everything in an envelope. And so tomorrow is my plan to go through the envelope and kind of sort it out a little bit better so that I can bring my taxes in to get done. Because usually we get all of our paperwork done. We have all of our paperwork in by the 10th of February, and then I can get I always get a refund because I'm one of these people that I'm not a good saver, and so I know that I'm letting the government spend my money. I don't have a problem with that because they're saving it for me, because then I get like a nice chunk of money, and we usually get something, like a roof or a door or something, some big purchase that we get with that, or pay off a couple credit cards. I'm going to have some credit cards from Christmas that need to be paid off, so I'll use the money for that. And then I'm doing a recipe of the week. For Monday, I'm doing a fajita chicken dump in the crock pot, which looks pretty good. I don't know if Jim's going to like it, but that's what we're going to have for dinner. And it's just chicken and peppers and onions and salsa. I never think I'm saying that right. Like the cheese salsa. Put that in there. And some fajita mix, and then we're going to put it on some tortillas, and I have some cheese and sour cream. Strictly pantry challenge month. I'm strictly eating from my pantry. My peppers look. If it was any other day, I would have threw the peppers away. I wouldn't have even tried to salvage them. But since I'm on a pantry challenge and I didn't want to go spend any money to buy anymore, I figured out a way to make them work, and it just made me realize that how much food I waste, which is really like a sin, I think, wasting food. And then my chicken was in the freezer, so I took the chicken out of the freezer. And then I always have like a gazillion million packets of taco mix and fajita mix and like gravy and chili mix and all that in the pantry anyhow, so I'm using that. So hopefully that'll turn out well. Trying to get tomorrow, we're putting up our 5 meals that we've made with our pantry challenge. So I've trying to get that video together today too. I still got to film my Tuesday tag. With Jim and I are going to film the Tuesday tag. And what else am I doing? I know there was one other thing I was going to be doing today. I'm going to start reading my book. I know that. I got to start reading that. And then we're going to start on our puzzle soon. I'll show you that tomorrow, because I think I'm going to start on the puzzle tomorrow. But other than that, I just I'm all caught up on all my YouTube videos. Got my room in here straightened around pretty well. Going to do the taxes and my video and my Zoom call tomorrow. Talked to Mary this morning. She's doing really, really well. So a couple of you had asked me if she has that machine where you got to blow into it and it has a little ball that you got to bring up and down. Yeah, she's been doing that all along. She does have that. They give that to you right away, right after surgery. So she has been doing that. And then they go in twice a day and they give her like a breathing treatment. She's done some physical therapy, and she's done some occupational therapy. Her creatinine, whatever. Her levels for her kidney, the numbers are coming down like they're supposed to. The first day they were like at 300, and this morning they were at 170. So I don't know what the normal is, but obviously 170 is better than 300. So it's starting to wake up a little bit. They're still working on getting her into a rehab that's closer to home. She won't know. It's the weekend, so there's really not anybody there over the weekend. So I FaceTimed with her. And, yeah, I guess that's it. Not much else going on. I guess that's it. I just, for breakfast, what did I have for breakfast? I had a couple pieces of toast with some peanut butter on it. I had a hard-boiled egg. I had a cheese stick, a cup of tea, and a little glass of orange juice. And like I said, for dinner, I'm going to have the fajitas. Trying to get more protein in. I think between the egg and the cheese and the peanut butter, I got a little bit of protein in for breakfast. I'm struggling with the protein. I struggle with that. But, and then Monday is my weigh-in day, so we'll see how that goes. I'm optimistic that I did pretty well this week, so we'll see. Okay. I can't think of anything else to talk about. I got on here and thinking, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Look at it, it's like 12 minutes in, and I'm just, la, 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 la. Let me talk to the wall. Hello, wall. Okay, that was a song. Who sang that? Did Johnny Carson sing? No, Johnny Carson. Johnny Cash? George Strait? Oh, that was I going to tell you. Jim listens to country music, which is not, there's a couple country music songs I like. There's a couple country music people that I do like. I like Hank Williams Jr. I like him. He's got one, the Soggy Bottom Mountain Boys. They have one song. Jim listens to Pandora, and so he listens to like the country music on that. And supposedly every once in a while they throw in like a current hit, but that for the most part it's mostly country. And I know I offended people before when I called it hillbilly music. My father always called it hillbilly music. It's like from the mountain kind of. It's a different sound than country music, and I don't mean it in any kind of derogatory way, shape, or form or anything like that. But I don't know if it's just called classic country then, or old country. I don't know what the new terminology is for it, but it's like Hank Williams, George Strait, Buck Owens, like that kind of country music, I guess. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So we always listen to that, and it's always the only thing I like is, like I said, Hank Williams Jr., I like him. I do like Garth Brooks and Vince Gill. I like Vince Gill, but there's not really that many that I really like. But this one, I can't think of it. Can't think of the name of the song. He's talking about his friends in jail.
I had a friend named Ramblin' Bob. He used to steal, gamble, and rob.
It's a cute song. It is a cute song, but I can't think of the name of it. But anyway, that doesn't really matter. I do like that song whenever it's on, because they're always like on a loop that you play it. But so we went to see Mary the other day. His Pandora's on his phone, and once you take the phone out of the car and leave, it disconnects, and then it automatically goes to the radio. Well, the radio is Sirius, and Jim has the Sirius radio set for 60s music. So when we were coming home from visiting Mary, he didn't realize that it wasn't Pandora, but I did, because it was 60s music. And so I'm singing along, singing all the songs all the way home. And then we dropped Mary's friend off, Sharon, and we're driving to the fruit market to get our fruits and vegetables and his, I didn't get any vegetables, I only got fruit, but his lunch meat and that. And so I'm singing along, singing all the songs. And then we get in the car and we're coming back going home. And Jim says, oh my gosh, he says, I just realized, how did that happen? It's on Sirius. And I went, oh yeah, you're right, it's on Sirius. And he says, oh, so he was going to hook it up to Pandora. And I said, well, I figured that you had to figure that out, because they haven't played not one country song. We haven't heard not one twangy song at all. We haven't heard any banjos or fiddles or anything like that. And he said, well, I don't know why you say that. It plays your music. I said, no, we're going to hear like 7 or 8 songs of like really country songs, and then they might throw in one song. And he said, oh, that's not true. And the very first song they played was a banjo song, which I love banjo music. I love banjo music. But that was the very first song, and he just started to laugh. He says, well, we'll see about the second song. Well, then the second song was another country song, and then another. We didn't hear not one of my songs on the way home. All we heard were the country songs. And once again, don't know why we got on that subject, but we were on it. Stay along for the ride, let me tell you. But anywho, sir. Okay, now I'm done blabbering. 15 minutes in, it's time to say, let's see it. Let's talk again tomorrow. Hopefully I see you then.